Hey,
Hey, what's up? How are you?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm tired.
Yeah, you must be.
Uh, I've been working since I had a break. 'Cause, I work my full-time job and then I do the in-person stuff. But yeah, I started at like 7 something today and just got back. So
Jeez, wow.
but,
Well,
yeah, I'm not getting that stressed out about the exam because that's just gonna mess me up. Like I'm going in at just like it is what it is. Like I have the potential to score pretty well in most of the sections. I'm just trying not to get stressed out about it. The only issue I had that really killed me with cars was I ran out of time completely for a passage and I just had to randomly guess and I got all the guesses wrong. I put C for all of them because I was thinking well, I'll get like one or two of them right. And I ran out of time. So like I noticed when I do cars, like if I'm fresh and I start my day out with cars, or if I'm just doing just cars practice, I'm in a good mood, whatever, like I can kind of get into it and I do really well. But when I take full length exams, I notice that I'm so beat by the end of the chem phys section that I just feel like sometimes I can't recover. And that 10-minute break just isn't enough sometimes for me. Like I noticed the first passage was really rough, like you had mentioned. Sometimes this happens. I probably should have skimmed through faster and just tried to find something that was a little easier, leisure-wise, to read. Because
yeah,
the was something it was a topic I just didn't like, and it was
yeah.
rough. And I saved it for last, and I had already run out of time. So that was a problem. And it's like sometimes I feel like if I try to force read too quickly, then my comprehension of the passage went down
Yeah,
and that kind of messes my accuracy up because I was doing pretty well
yeah.
until I missed all 7 of those questions, and that really hurt me. I mean, that was probably 1 or 2 points. So
It
that's
seems like you did the right thing, though. You recognized that it was a passage that was going to give you some trouble and you saved it for last.
yeah, I saved it for last, but I had already kind of read it and was getting frustrated, and
Yeah,
so I should have made that decision a little quicker. I know next time to do that.
yeah, but you
I
at least
also
did that, so you could have spent,
yeah
like, you could have spent too much time on it and not gotten, like, a
yeah.
different passage, you know?
It's got to the point where I can recognize wrong answers so quickly without even understanding the passage at all. Like I
Yeah.
can just tell based off reading the
Hmm.
question stem when 2 things are wrong pretty fast. Sometimes it's still taking me a while to get the right answer, but I usually get there. I think I sit on questions too long. I
Yeah.
ran out of time also on biochem. I've been using the strategy where I go to the discrete questions first. I just click
Yeah.
through real fast. I get there. I answer them pretty quickly.
Did you
If
check
I
out that
don't get it,
video I sent of
yeah, I watched that one a while back.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So I've
okay.
been doing that with the discretes and that works pretty good and it kind of helps my confidence.
Yeah.
And I did that. I think I'm still getting a little stuck on some questions or passages. I looked at like my timing. So some questions it's like 30 seconds. Some of them it's like 2 minutes and 40. And I
Yeah.
know those longer ones I need to get down, but I kind of know the shorter ones I'm getting right really fast to make up for it. But I
Yeah.
know some I'm sitting too long on. There was one biochem passage that I got like shredded on towards the end. And I noticed like my accuracy was really good. And towards the end of the test is where I started to fall off because I was going really quickly.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I need to like honestly just try to like push myself a little faster because I don't know if sometimes I'm just sitting there, I'm getting a little too comfortable reading, and then I'm like, oh, this is a test, and then I have to catch up. But I
Hmm.
don't like to like mess my comprehension up. But I'm trying to like maybe just try to push it a little quicker and
Yeah,
click
yeah.
through. I ran out of time with biochem. Like I had like 1 or 2 minutes left, and I was on the last passage. So there was like I was guessing, and I luckily I was guessing good, but that messed me up. So I was basically a passage behind biochem, a passage behind cars. Um, Chem physics, like the first section, I just kind of give up. If I don't know it, I'm like, screw it, you're not going to get it. Just guess like the math and stuff, or if
Hmm.
it's something weird I didn't understand. But biochem, I understand a lot of it, so I kind of get mad when I'm trying to get the answer right, especially if it's like those questions where you really have to go back to the graph and like analyze. I'm a little slower. Usually I'll get them, but sometimes I take a little too long.
Yeah.
But other than that, things went really well. The stupid psychology section. I got 125. I was really disappointed because I
Uh-huh.
had just reread the entire 86-page document, went through any term I didn't know. There
Mm-hmm.
wasn't a single term on there I did not know. Some of the analyzing I was getting wrong. And I know sometimes I'm missing things. I'll show you on the biochem. Sometimes I'm missing questions of theirs that I'm just not understanding the question, or like a topic that I fully knew, I misunderstood the way they defined the term, and that's why I was
Yeah.
getting it wrong.
Yeah.
But other than that, like I feel pretty good. If I just fix these little tiny things, like I'm fine.
Mm-hmm.
But that's just a little frustrating because I knew the content. There was like several questions I got wrong after reviewing. I was like, really? It's just because I misunderstood what they meant by the definition.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of frustrating. And it's frustrating with the psychology because I feel like I should be 130 or higher.
Yeah.
And I missed so many. I think I got 41 out of 59, which is one of the worst I've ever done.
We can take a look at that because we haven't ever done like a psych social section, so I'm wondering if it's just like data analysis or something.
Yeah,
like that.
I'll open it right now and show you what I missed. I reviewed everything except cars. Let me go back. I was really disappointed with that. I made a lot of mistakes on biochem. I was really upset about too, but that wasn't too terrible. That was really bad from having gotten a 128, but I really ran out of time. It was really more like closer to 2 passages that I ran out of time. Yeah, like it started out really good, and I guess I can look at the content breakdown so you can see like all of them I'm noticing. Like that was 64% for the reasoning. The data, 43. I did miss 4 data questions.
Oh, cool. They let you like review by those like they let you review the data ones and stuff.
Yeah.
Pretty cool. And then some reasoning, problem solving.
I mean,
yeah, I think you're good on content, honestly.
But I'll show you the couple of questions I didn't understand. And most of them I understood after reading them. It was more like just analysis of the passage or research, which most of the research went good. Say that again?
Your score went up.
Well, it dropped from the sample test.
But it went up from the previous test you took, right?
I think it was a 501 or something. I think it went down because I dropped 5 points on cars. I was mentally not there that day. Yeah, I went up on biochem and I went down on psychosocial. But I was kind of tired. I had a hard time with cars, so I was so tired. But all the sections, like 70% content, 77% of scientific reasoning. And again, like I'm having a hard time down in these areas.
All right.
And I'm noticing most of the content's over 70. Like there were some stupid mistakes I made, like I realized reviewing it. But it was the same thing, I think, even on the chem phys. I think the content I was still over 70, and I did that on that section. Yeah, so it's just frustrating that like the content is, I feel like good enough.
Yeah.
But I'm still getting a lot of stuff wrong from especially these 3 sections. I'm noticing these are the worst. It's the
why don't we hit
that
review button there and we can.
Okay, cool. I'll go back to the psychology first.
Sure.
I wrote down like I took a notebook and I kind of like wrote stuff down to review.
Yeah.
I'm doing that with all of them just because it's easier for me to remember if I write it down, and I'm running out of time. So
yeah, we're at the stage where we're going to focus on like timing and stuff.
Let me try to find that. Okay. I guess should I just do the clip incorrect? What is the way to just do incorrect? I don't know.
Yeah, I think when you start the test, they give you like you can hit navigation, right? And that can let you choose questions.
Okay, I think this lets me filter just all 18 wrong. Some of these I think I had.
All right, let's see. Finding from study 3 regarding the differential effect of emotional arousal on memory for central and peripheral details is best explained by which mechanism? This is
I did not really get this question. Right? Excuse me.
Oh, like Yerkes-Dodson law or something? Yeah, so I would like go to, all right, it says study three. They say that,
I think it was
um,
in here. Yeah.
yeah. So, okay, it says not all emotional memories involve learning about momentous newsworthy events. Study three, participants who viewed a sequence of slides involving a violent car accident remembered more central aspects of the event, like a car involved in the accident, and fewer peripheral details, like the street. Okay.
So so when I went through this one, I was thinking, and I saw people on Reddit said the same thing.
Oh
I was
wait,
thinking,
so I thought of Yerkes Dodson right away, but
no, that's
that
what
would
I
be
was thinking
B.
when and that's
That would
why I
be
got it
B.
wrong.
Did you put
Yeah.
B?
Yeah, that's what I think.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
yeah.
what I put.
So
And I
this
was
is a
really
little
frustrated
different.
because they were very misleading because I
Yeah.
thought that's exactly what they were talking about. And I really don't understand the logic behind this answer causes a restriction. Apparently, it's not the same thing. It was,
Oh yeah, yeah.
um,
So okay, so the thing with Yerkes Dodson, it isn't really about memory; it's about performance. So, it's
that's
like
true.
when you like take like a test, like the MCAT or something like that, you
Yeah,
are a little nervous, but you exactly like what I thought when you were saying like you felt like a little too like relaxed or something like that. But that is the first thing thought of when I read the question stem. But now that I look at it, if they're remembering like something that's like in the center and not the things around it, um, that kind of like means that they're restricting the stuff around it, like their memory of the stuff around it, right?
yeah. So it was memory and the Yerkes Dodson's more about hyperarousal.
Yeah.
I guess I was thinking of hyperarousal in terms of like the car accident or whatever.
Uh-huh.
Um,
Yeah. So Yerkes Dodson is about the optimal level of arousal in terms of like yeah, performance on like a difficult task or something like that.
yeah. All right.
So yeah.
That was
But
kind of
does it make sense
frustrating.
that if there's a restriction of the focus of attention, means that you're going to block out things that are in the periphery?
Yeah, that makes sense. But I guess because of the way the incident with the car happened or what, you're more likely to remember that one thing and not the background information around
Mm-hmm.
it. Yeah. I guess that's getting more into like the focus attention stuff in psychology. Like they didn't give a lot of examples when I read through the document, but there was like
Let me see the
you know
top of this for a
they
sec.
talk about the different types of like the ways you can kind of focus. Like you
Yeah.
kind of block out like the white noise, and I guess that's what that was, the
Let me see
peripheral.
the top of this passage for a sec. Um, all right, so this type of thing makes me think of, well, like coincidentally, the date of your test, which is September 11th, and
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember that, but
Yeah, no, I do. I was like
okay,
nine
yeah,
somewhere in
yeah.
there.
So like that's something that like happened. That's a newsworthy event that people like remember. Like I remember like being like I remember like exactly where I was in school, in
Yeah, I do
like
too. Yeah.
lunch and stuff. So
Flashbulb memory,
yeah,
right?
yeah. And do you see
Yeah.
how like for that we remember like these peripheral kind of details, like that happened for like some type of that like a newsworthy event, for example,
Yeah.
right? So like they're saying not all emotional memories involve learning about momentous newsworthy events. And then study three involves something that isn't, a momentous newsworthy event, and that's just they're saying that for that the studies show that basically that person is just remembering like the central aspects of it rather than the peripheral stuff.
Okay. I guess I've been having this issue with a few AMC questions where like it triggers me to where
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, oh, that's this, and it wasn't that. Um, I don't know what it was about this that triggered me to think of the Dodson.
I mean, that's
I
exactly
guess
what.
because no, I know what it
Yeah.
was. It was because it said emotional arousal.
Yes.
And I was like immediately like, oh, that's the answer. And I'm still a little frustrated because I feel like
Mm-hmm.
are they not supposed to be tricky like that? Because I feel like
No,
there's been
they're
multiple
they're
questions
gonna be
together.
tricky like that.
There's like multiple questions of theirs that I almost disagree with. There were like two definitions from the same psych topic that had like a one discrepancy thing that was kind of frustrating. But I understand it now. It's just emotional arousal does have to do with the Yerkes Dodson or whatever. But this study involved memory, and that doesn't have to do with it. So I guess I should have paid. I know that now. So let's go. We reviewed it. All right. This one threw me off really bad at first because I was kind of having a hard time understanding the graph. So I think what they were, I think what they were saying was these are two different groups that were fed the diets, and out of the group that was fed the low quality diet, they preferred the protein, and out of the group that was fed the high quality diet,
what type of protein?
Even more so liked the protein.
Well,
and I guess
protein. Right?
Yeah, but the high quality.
Oh yeah.
So I figured that out. But I think apparently when I reviewed this on Reddit, I should have noticed something about the error bars. Like this wasn't statistic.
Okay, so yeah, so this is important.
Even though I saw the percentage was significant.
Well, it doesn't say anything if they're significant, but if they did, they would have an asterisk, right?
Yeah, I didn't think about that.
If the error bars overlap, then it can, here, I can annotate this to make it. So the error bars means that that this can be like that level, right?
Oh, okay.
And this can be that level, right?
Yep.
And I forgot that would give us the opposite thing, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so that's the problem with if the error bars overlap, they're not going to give us any conclusive information because we have the this is saying that high quality protein current preference is higher if they had prior diet treatment with low quality protein, but the error bars show that it's like plus or minus, right? So it can easily show that there's a current preference of low quality protein. So the main thing here is just if the error bars overlap, you can get it doesn't tell you anything really because it can give you the opposite results.
Yeah, and I guess I really don't know why I went with D. I guess because I could not for sure. I knew these two were like incorrect. Like I knew you couldn't say that it was a stronger predictor because I knew it wasn't significant enough, and they didn't give you anything with error bars. So that's why I felt like I didn't remember this about what you showed me the error bars. That's why I was kind of like I didn't feel like you could. I just didn't feel like you for sure could conclude this about. I guess I see now looking at it like this shows in the high quality diet, they significantly preferred the protein over the low group. Yeah, I think I understand it now, but I didn't.
Like this is like essentially
usually they show error bars, and I didn't have that, so I was trying to like look at it and see if it was. I was in my mind, I was saying, well, that's still going from what 40 to 55. I'm like, that's still going to be significant. Like I didn't do the math. But just looking at it, I was like, oh, but it wasn't significant enough.
It'll never tell you if it's statistically. You can never tell if it's statistically significant or not unless they tell you.
Yeah. All right.
So this isn't telling us, but remember this: error bars cannot overlap.
Okay.
Okay.
There's actually another one like this I got wrong too, involving the statistical significance. It's somewhere in here. Yeah, I got this one wrong. I knew what these definitions were. It was panic disorder. I was thinking.
You were thinking psychosomatic.
Yeah, well, I was thinking that he had it, but they couldn't give an explanation for his symptoms.
Yeah.
But I guess because my understanding is that with somatic symptom disorder, that wouldn't involve like all this with pain. I'm just trying to see what I wrote down.
Yeah, I think you're thinking of psychosomatic. So like somatic means something's actually happening in your body, and psychosomatic is if you like your thoughts can manifest themselves in those effects on your body.
No, but like I think hold on, but I knew this wasn't the hypochondriac. Is that the somatic or the not somatic? Hypochondriac is the I forgot what the other term they use for that. Because like hypochondriac's where like it's in your head and you're
Yeah.
not having these things. But I think somatic symptom disorder means that something is physiologically wrong, but they can't explain medically what it is, which is what I thought this was, because I'm like, oh, something is physiologically wrong with him, but they don't know what the issue is. But
yeah,
it was a panic disorder
that's
because
a
I think
psychiatric diagnosis for it.
Say that again?
So they're asking what's the psychiatric diagnosis for it. So like somatic symptom disorder or whatever would be like, all right, yeah, he's actually having these actual physiological, symptoms. And if we don't know what it's caused by, it can be a bunch of things. But they're asking specifically what's a psychiatric diagnosis.
Oh, true. I kind of ignored that. I was thinking of the definition.
Yeah, I was.
Because I know what panic disorder is. I know what panic disorder is, but I don't know why I got misled to that, because I knew the two terms. I knew it wasn't GAD. I knew illness. I don't know. Illness anxiety disorder. Is that the same thing as the hypochondriac? Or is that?
It's probably like something that means that if you have an illness, you're going to have anxiety about it. I don't know if it means if you have an illness or
I
not.
knew that wasn't it, but.
But yeah,
And I know the symptoms of panic disorder, like looking back at that, I know those are the symptoms of panic disorder now. I don't know why I went with that. I guess I was thinking it was. Because I guess the somatic symptom disorder, you wouldn't have. I don't think you have pain. It's not usually associated with the pain when I looked it up or something. That's what somebody on Reddit said anyway, but. Because other people were getting that. Some people got that wrong.
Somatic symptom disorder. When a person has a significant focus on physical symptoms to the... Okay.
Yeah, that's what I went with. I was like, oh, he's having these physical symptoms, but they don't know what's wrong with him. But I guess it says they did, because it said psychiatric diagnosis. I was thinking of panic disorder. I mean, that is a psychiatric diagnosis, but I didn't think that the panic disorder, which I know it can cause chest pain, but I don't know. It was hard for me to kind of differentiate between them two, because the somatic was physiological symptoms that weren't explained.
Yeah, all right, let me check.
Oh, yeah, because right here it says did not have a heart attack. I was like, oh, okay, well.
Here, let me check this out. Oh, it's somatoform. So, wait. Sorry. Somatoform, it's also known as that. I haven't looked at psychosocial in a while. Let's see.
This is my favorite section of the test, though. I like it. Like, it's interesting.
Yeah, I like it when it talks about stuff that are like have like neurological kind of things. Yeah, and I like the psychiatric like disorder stuff as well. What I don't like that much is like the psychology stuff, like knowing like a lot of like the stuff that has been kind of like not like that relevant now. But somatic complains of multiple physical disorders that cause this. I think it originates from worrying about a symptom. Jeez.
But I know that somebody with somatic symptom disorder could be worried about having something. They could show up in the hospital and then they're having chest pains, I guess, but they didn't actually have a heart attack. But I feel like there's something with the somatic symptom disorder and pain differentiating between the two from when I looked it up. it was just it was kind of confusing.
Mm-hmm.
Like I feel like it could kind of be both.
Yeah. I'm trying
Like
to
technically
get
somebody could rule. So technically, I feel like somebody could say it could have been somatic or it could have been panic. Like I feel like there's no way to validate that answer. That's why I'm saying there must be. I'm wondering if it had something to do with the pain.
Let's see. Okay. I think somatic. Wait.
Yeah, but it says, see, a person has significant focus on physical symptoms such as pain, weakness, shortness of breath. That is like the definition. That's why it's confusing. That's why there's something that they're thinking that I'm not.
Yeah.
That's why I disagree with them.
Well, I mean,
It's somatic symptom disorder, it's physical symptoms. So the preoccupation with symptoms is illness anxiety disorder. Yeah, even Mayo Clinic, somatic symptom disorder is characterized by extreme focus on physical symptoms such as pain or fatigue that cause major emotional distress and problems functioning. So maybe, I don't know, I just feel like you can't pick either one.
yeah.
Like they didn't play much on the emotional distress part that much.
Mm-hmm. I see like excessive thoughts, feelings, or behaviors related to the somatic symptoms or health concerns that come from that. So
I mean, they really didn't talk about his concerns, I guess, but the symptoms could have been that. I guess they didn't focus on his concerns necessarily.
Yeah,
They didn't talk about his emotions.
I see that. Yeah, I see that here. Like anxiety about the thing. I'll try to see if I can get a better definition.
But like that, I really disagreed with them on that. Like because I've seen them do that a couple of times with some psych terms that were very similar. Like this one to me was very, very close. Like I don't know.
I'm guessing just from what I've read so far that the somatoform or somatic symptoms disorder is like having lots of thoughts about the symptoms, and here we just have the symptoms, and the guy thinks that, or it doesn't say anything about what he thinks about it. But if he was having anxiety about those symptoms, it seems like from what I see about the definition of somatic symptom disorder, it has like the excessive thoughts, feelings, behaviors related to the somatic symptoms or associated health concerns.
It's kind of like between, yeah. Because I mean,
so like if someone
panic disorder would have excessive worrying though too. I mean, sometimes panic disorders can be brought on by things that like just like out of nowhere.
I think the thing with panic disorder is that the person just thinks that it's a heart attack. Whereas if someone had somatic symptom disorder, they would think, they wouldn't just think that they were having a heart attack. They would think like, oh my God, like, I'm having like a pounding heart, a chest pain, shortness of breath, like, I like, and they get anxious about what they might possibly have.
Yeah, and I guess maybe they probably would have had to explain the emotional background issue to make that a choice. Yeah, okay.
Diagnostic criteria displayed in Figure 1 to classify individuals for treatment. Which of the following statements is not supported? Okay, Figure 1. Group means of self-reported insomnia severity by therapy condition at baseline. Okay, so first of all, we're only going to look at that. Tell me why.
Because of the asterisk being significant. So I started at the top and I
just between these two as well.
So I started at the top and I worked my way down, like I just to make it easier. So at baseline, participants in all three therapy groups had similar levels of moderately severe insomnia. So I knew that wasn't wrong. This was the baseline, and there wasn't an asterisk saying there was any difference. So I knew that was true. So not supported. So I eliminated that. And then immediately after treatment, participants in all three therapy groups scored below threshold for diagnosis for insomnia. So I think where I made the mistake here, I went up here, and I guess the end of therapy was at the end of treatment, but apparently I guess it could have been individuals and those were groups, is from what I'm understanding. Like we'll go through the other ones, but I was supposed to have just seen, I think on the side mean insomnia severity, this was groups, not individuals that might have not been a part of that. They could have been outside of that window, if that makes sense.
Wait, I think the groups mean that one has BT, the other CT, and the other CBT.
Because I thought these were all three groups, and all three groups scored below the threshold for diagnosis for insomnia. Well, if the diagnosis, if the diagnosis was here, that shows all three of them were below it.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, never mind. I see I got it wrong now.
Not. Yeah,
Yeah.
I was gonna say that is true. That's true.
No, that is true. I don't know why I picked that now. Okay. Across the three therapy groups, average scores remain below threshold for diagnosis at the 6 month. Okay. All participants in the study scored below the threshold for diagnosis for insomnia after treatment. Okay, I think I was confused between B and all participants in the study scored below the threshold.
So
That's all participants. That's why I got it. Yes, not versus group.
So immediately after treatment is talking about this, and if they say all participants, they're talking about like these guys as well.
But I guess I didn't understand when I was going through it, the difference between these two. This is all three therapy groups. Oh, do they mean all? Oh, I thought they meant. See, that's why I was confused. They meant this. Do they mean all of these, each one, or do they mean? No, these are the three groups. That's why I was confused because they were all three below baseline.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but this over D is saying all participants in the study, which includes these guys as well.
So do they just mean that some of them would have fallen out of that range for diagnosis? Because I guess I was lost, like they were all below the threshold, but that was saying for that's for groups. That's why that's true. This one's not saying groups. This one's saying all
okay.
participants.
Let me take a look at like what they like say in the passage, just so I get an idea for what they mean by all. Okay, so let's see. Participants randomly assigned to 3 therapies, all of which involved 8 weekly individual sessions. Okay. Okay. No baseline differences in 3 groups on okay. Session attendance was high. Maybe that. So either that or the thing that says mean. So let me see the the question again. Sorry. So okay, using a okay, which of the following is not supported?
And I didn't really go back much and read the prior information because it said based on the figure. So like I just tried to look at the.
Okay, you know what? It might be. I think I think it's just so these are average scores. So there could be some people, maybe one person or something that is above the
An
threshold.
outlier,
What's that?
like an outlier that fell out of the average range. Like, I guess,
Yeah.
but I mean, it sucks. They didn't give you like how many people this was, but like, I guess if this was 5,000 and 5 people fell up here, that's true. If you averaged it, it would come down a lot, you know? But I didn't think about that going through. I wasn't trying to sometimes you don't know if you're overlooking or underlooking a question. That's why I thought this was a little strong, all participants.
Yeah.
Well, actually, no, I didn't. That would have been a good maybe, because these two are basically similar answer choices. That's why I was stuck between them. I guess all versus group, because these only looked at the. I don't know, because I mean, I feel like the group includes all of them. But
so let's say yeah. So I think it's just that this measures the average, and if it was all, so let's say all go from like whatever 18 point, I'll just say 19, and so like let's say that's the average or whatever, and they have to go down to below 14, right?
yeah.
So like if they all did that, okay, so these values, it seems like they're like around like 9 or something. So it seems like uh so okay. Yeah, I think it's just because it's average. Like here they talk about average scores, and here they talk about the mean.
It's
So
still kind of confusing though, math-wise to me though, because it's still even this one's still or this one's saying all three groups score below the threshold for diagnosis for insomnia. Below, I mean, scored below, and then all participants in the study scored below the threshold for the diagnosis of insomnia. The only difference here really is participants versus group. That's why I'm kind of lost with that.
Oh,
like,
okay. Participant. Wait. Yeah, no. This is participants in all therapy groups. So all you need is one guy here, one guy here, one guy there.
but what's the difference between that and all participants in the study?
All that
Well, I
means
guess,
that
well, but it's
100% of people here, 100% of people in CT, 100% of people in CBT, all had below the threshold for diagnosis of insomnia. Whereas B is saying participants, it doesn't say all participants in all therapy groups. So all you need for that statement to be true is one guy in BT to score below the threshold, one guy in CT, one person in in CBT, because then that would be true that participants in all three therapy groups scored below the threshold.
Okay.
It's like saying
It's saying that it's the way it was worded. So it's not all the participants. It's just participants in all three were below it, not all of them.
Yeah,
This one's saying all of them were. Yeah, I just kind of the reading there was a little confusing. I actually see that better now.
Yeah.
I just some hate the way they word some things sometimes, but okay. I knew it was negative correlation, and I picked the wrong. I somehow mistakes the p-value versus correlation.
Yeah.
Yeah, so correlation is the one. That's the only reason I missed that. This one I got wrong, which is this wasn't really anything I really learned through content that much. Most directly related assessing the presence. Oh yeah, I remember this one now. I misread something in the passage. Internalizing problems are assessed by measuring the presence of anxiety, loneliness, self-esteem, and sadness.
Okay.
That's what I misread it because I was going fast. That was me doing something stupid. I didn't really get this one.
Let's see. The predictive models described in the final paragraph of the passage are most likely based on which assumption? Final paragraph, socio-demographic differences in alcohol use disorders.
Yeah, I think I went with D. Let me see. Yeah, I went with D because I read it. Biological behavioral mechanisms provide a foundation for understanding epidemiology of alcohol use disorders, contribution of psychosocial stressors.
All right, so I guess they're saying that um, African Americans and Hispanic Americans, they think that since they are racial and ethnic minority groups, that causes additional. That just being a minority is a psychosocial stressor, and that should mean that they should have increased rates of alcohol consumption.
But it said they didn't.
Yeah, so it failed to support this prediction.
So since I thought that it wasn't, they were kind of like saying, well, maybe it was, but it's not been proven. So I'm like, oh, well, maybe it's the socioeconomic gradient in health with minority groups. I didn't think it had anything to do with identity formation.
Yeah,
and I knew it had nothing to do with out groups. But I didn't really understand this. Exposure to some psychosocial stressors would be attributed. I didn't see what this had to do with social identity, identity necessarily. I thought this had more to do with socioeconomics. I mean,
so the socioeconomic gradient in health is about how, African American and Hispanic Americans tend to be in a lower socioeconomic level, and therefore they are not as likely to receive or seek out the help of healthcare professionals.
Oh wait, but this was saying that they weren't.
That they just didn't have a high amount of alcohol consumption, I suppose.
Yeah, I think I was trying to go with that because it seems familiar to the topic versus the whole social identity.
Yeah, so if you think
I just
about
understand how they answered it,
stressors, psychosocial stressors are things that are that can be from the social environment or that affect your psychology, right?
Yeah.
That produces an additional layer of stress.
Yeah, I guess that kind of answered. I mean, yeah. But they said some theoretical models. I didn't really know what they were talking about because they said theoretical models, prejudice, discrimination.
Yep. Yeah, so that's what they're saying, where they the theoretical model is the minorities have increased amounts of psychosocial stressors, and that's a theoretical model, and when they actually looked at the actual data, I suppose, in the real world, not in theory, it shows that it doesn't actually affect.
Wait, no, that's why I'm confused now because it's been assumed that the minority groups drink more or whatever because of their situation. But that's not true. I thought the question is saying what's assumed, and I'm like, oh, they're assumed to drink, and this behavior is because of some sort of socioeconomic gradient in health, because that was what was believed. That's why I went with that. So now I'm confused. Still, I thought the question was saying what the passage says this isn't what's happening, but I thought they were asking what was believed because they're saying is based on the assumption.
Yeah. So the socioeconomic gradient in health. So even though a lot of times African American and Hispanic Americans tend to be in lower socioeconomic levels, this one is specifically just talking about prejudice and discrimination, which psychosocial section like really like drills into your head or like different things. So we can't like kind of like conflate them. But the socioeconomic gradient in health, like think about that part, economic part, right? So it's like basically the reason that like there's so many passages that talk about this, like where like a black person who might be having symptoms of something is unlikely to go to a doctor, whereas like a white person or Asian person like has a cough would be likely to just go to the doctor just to have it checked out. And that's because of like two things, like the economic factor of not being able to, maybe not being insured or not being like able to like have the free time to go to the doctor.
Oh, 1 second. Yeah, I guess I kind of see that now that this topic was more. I didn't really look at the psychosocial stressors. I think sometimes I think I rely too much on content because I kind of like am so familiar with all these terms.
Oh yeah.
That kind of went straight for that answer.
Yeah. So a lot of times like the word itself can like make you help you get the answer, but like the socioeconomic gradient health is a big theme on the psych-social section, so it's definitely very important to know that. I'm just going to like get like an actual definition for you because this is a very important thing. So all right, let's see that. Basically, sorry.
I'm not sure I got this one. See, I got two from this passage on this topic.
Wait, is this the same?
On that stupid predictive model thing. I guess I just did not get
the
that.
prejudice and discrimination thing. Wait, this is the same question, right? Oh wait. Oh, okay. So this is what I was saying. Like they really like are serious about this. Like there's a difference between prejudice and discrimination.
I think I went with B. I just want to know I went with A.
So like, all right. So just tell me like what the difference between discrimination and prejudice is. So like prejudice is like a person's like attitude, let's say, about a certain race or group of people. But discrimination is like the act of like not letting like the person have a job interview or not have like it's action. Whereas prejudice.
I didn't think it was B because discrimination. Discrimination versus prejudice could still have the same physiological.
So that would be
not like psychological like trauma.
So that should contribute to the result.
I think it was more significant. I didn't pick anything out of the passage that was suggested otherwise.
No. So okay, so they're saying that
the lack of support.
So
for prejudice discrimination.
So they're saying that
I knew it had to do with outside. I knew it had to do with other factors. That's why I knew it was A or C.
Wait, okay. So they're saying that this stuff does not contribute, though. Like, so B is saying that these things work, they contribute to alcohol use disorders, right? Oh, can you?
Oh, wait, I just realized I had the volume off.
Oh, all right.
I was like, I've been out for like a minute.
Okay.
Sorry. I pressed it. I have the touch bar and I had pressed it off.
Okay. Yeah, I was trying to tell you that because they're saying that prejudice and discrimination does not actually contribute to alcohol consumption. And B is saying that it does.
Yeah, that's why I ruled that out.
Okay, good.
And I knew, yeah, D I also ruled out the discrimination may be less significant. Yeah, I
Yeah.
knew it wasn't either one of those, so I was quick with that. Maybe I misunderstood what social
No,
capital
so
meant.
yeah, so B and D are completely wrong though because neither of these are the psychosocial stressors. Like B is saying discrimination is more of a psychostressor than uh, prejudice, and D is saying prejudice is the more significant one. But the overall thing here is that neither of them, right?
Yeah.
So they're saying like why is the predictive model that's theoretical like failing in the prediction that they should have more higher rates of alcohol consumption, right? So yes, if they feel discrimination or prejudice, that could contribute to that could be a psychosocial stressor, but and generally speaking, if you have a lot of psychosocial stressors, you're going to drink more alcohol. But they're saying, why did they not find this in these populations? So there might be some type of mitigating factor that softens the blow.
Yeah, I see why it's seen now. I've seen a similar passage to this before. I think I was going a little fast with this one. Yeah, like if
Mm-hmm.
somebody had a positive influence in their life, even though they were socioeconomically poor, that kept them away from alcohol.
Yeah, yeah.
I understand that now.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I was thinking of social capital, isn't that like where you have basically
Well, it's not a risk factor though.
oh
It
true.
would be a protective one, right?
Okay. Okay, I see that.
Yeah. There's a lot of ways to go about like the questions, and a lot of times you can just find inherent logical like contradictions in the choice itself, right?
Yeah, I think I need to be a little more careful maybe about not purely using content every time. I
Yeah.
mean, it does work for me really well most of the time. I get through stuff quickly, but I think you probably noticed there's a couple of wording things that I
Mhm.
missed.
Yeah.
That's what I was trying to say earlier.
Yeah.
Maybe be
Because
careful.
remember, this is first and foremost like, critical thinking tests. Like they're never just going to ask you what is like what is like panic disorder, right? It'll always require you to like, make some type of like think, right? Okay, which statement cannot be concluded from table 1? Table 1, okay? So we have confidence in organized religion from 73 to 2003. So 43 to 25, 7 to 17. So like it seems like, people have less confidence in organized religion over the years, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So what cannot be concluded from it, right? So let's look at it like logically. So A, Americans' confidence in religious institutions has declined. That's totally what it's saying, right?
Yep.
More than 60% of Americans had a great deal or quite a lot of confidence in organized religion in 70. Okay, so that's going to be this. Sorry. So, like, they say quite a lot
It's a
and great deal. So it's going to be this plus that, right?
Yeah.
So that's 65, right?
Yeah.
65%, right?
Yeah.
And let me see that choice again. Yeah, that's more. 65 is more than 60, so that's true, right?
Yep.
Change in percentage of Americans who have very little confidence in organized religion between. Okay, so remember I told you statistically significant only if they give you an asterisk. It's not something we can ever determine ourselves.
Yeah, I did that again. I thought it was a big enough of a change. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
that's how I missed that. I didn't.
Like statistically significant stuff is like from a ton of data that like is in the methodology part of published papers and stuff. It's never things that you can get like that you can figure out
Yeah,
just
and I
from
guess
looking
the
at it.
reason I went with this because it said the percentage, and I was like, oh, that's a major increase, so it has to be statistically significant. And yeah.
Statistically significant isn't about any changes like that. It's just about whether or not the null hypothesis can be disproved. So yeah, just think about it as asterisk. If there isn't an asterisk, there's no way for you to tell because it's like it's something that only the people who did the experiment can do, right?
And I got this wrong, and I did clinical research, and I did my own stats, but
Yeah.
oh.
So can someone just tell from reading your
No,
like
I had to do the
research?
calculation in
Exactly,
Excel.
right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. That's something I fixed though. I know that now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, and psychosocial they go like hardcore with the research methods and stuff because I guess like they know that people who like can know the content would just like do really well on it, so they go hardcore with like the p values and
Yeah,
crap
if
like
they
that.
ask me if the p-value ones I don't miss, I made a mistake trying to relate correlation the like if it's one, if it's like the positive negative correlation, I made a mistake relating the numbers to
Oh yeah,
p-value.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then I made a mistake with the stat bars in this situation.
Mm-hmm.
But I haven't missed any questions. If it asks me what type of a research study it is, I don't miss those ones. So
Okay, that's good.
this one was a weird question. I really did not.
Oh, and then keep in mind like things like mitigating factor or like confounding variable,
Yeah.
or, stuff like that. Okay.
Yeah, I haven't missed that dependent, independent variable. I got all those. Which is not consistent with the conflict theoretical analysis of the findings. Well, I knew what a conflict theorist is, but I mean, without even going back and looking, religion is an instrument of social control is something that conflict theorists would believe.
Okay.
Religion helps. I knew those right away, just knowing the definition, and I didn't really understand what these two terms meant. Like
passive acceptance of material conditions. So like if you are poor, it's okay. Right?
Religion helps to increase social solidarity. I guess that's what a conflict. No, that's what I was confused. I don't really understand what that meant. Social, being like socially confined, is that what they're saying?
Oh wait, solidarity?
Yeah.
It's like if you it means that the group is more is stronger together.
Okay, so social confinement's the opposite. That's why I got it wrong. Okay. I didn't really get that. Increase social solidarity. So
yeah. So like solidarity is like it's like if I say like, hey man, I'm gonna take the MCAT on September 11th with you, bro. Out of solidarity, meaning we're in this together.
But how could a conflict theorist, like I know what that is, like the Marxist thinking and all that stuff. Like I don't understand though. Technically, organized religions can increase social
it depends
solidarity.
on whatever the findings are in the passage. So I haven't seen the passage, so let's see. But it says like you have to always use what they say in the passage.
They didn't
not
really
like
give
what
you
we
anything.
know.
I don't feel like they really gave.
Well, let's see. So let's see.
Because I know the gist of the passage was like that we're moving like Americans more secular.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like the question was asking basically about like what the conflict theorists would agree with in terms of like the group.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't see how a conflict theorist would say yes or no to this. Like it would be inconsistent to say, I mean, I guess they don't like organized religion. I got that basically, but I don't.
Yeah, what's up?
But I guess like I mean, technically, religion helps a lot of people increase social solidarity within that like church. Like if you go to church and
Yeah. So
you have that group connection,
yeah.
fellowship with other people. So I
But
don't
like think
know.
about social solidarity as a whole. If you are like, I mean, just think about all like the wars that are
Oh, I
currently
think.
being.
Oh, so
Yeah.
like I think that overall religion does, as a whole. I'm thinking of it in
Yes.
terms of people going to a church and they get that fellowship with those people as a group. But I guess they're talking in terms of the whole community, whole
Yep.
world. Like, okay, I got it now. See, like I get this stuff, and then I think of my term,
Yeah.
how
Yeah.
I apply this in my head, and it's not
Hmm.
exactly what they meant.
Yeah. So just notice that it says social solidarity, like in general. If it said helps to increase social solidarity within that religious group, like yes, it can do that.
But what does
If
religion?
there's
I
a
didn't understand what C even meant. Religion increases passive acceptance
encourages
of
passive
material.
acceptance of material conditions. So it basically means that like conflict theories are all about like Marx like have not like the entire like history can be defined as a war between the haves and the have-nots, right? So Marx is like pissed off about rich people and stuff, right?
Yeah.
So see, religion encourages the acceptance of your material condition, meaning like if you're poor, like you accept it, and it's like it's okay. You know what I mean? And that's basically something that like religion kind of like does, right? Like Jesus, for example,
Oh,
was
I get it.
poor.
Yeah.
Whereas a conflict theorist person is really pissed off about the way certain people have stuff and certain people don't.
Okay. I just honestly didn't really. I didn't take. I mean, I'm going through this test quickly. Like, I honestly didn't really
Yeah, yeah,
understand what those two meant that well. Just sometimes the way they write things, I'm like, I don't really get that.
yeah,
It
yeah.
just sucks
Even
because like I'm
for
so fast. I'm like, boom, gone. We're
yeah,
down
yeah.
here. So I know I got that wrong. This was a really dumb question. I saw a lot of people mad about this when I read it. I did not understand this. Like,
Okay. So the
um,
swabbed mice had an increase in the weight of their uterus, right?
yep.
So okay. Wait, what the hell? All right. So oh wait, urine. Okay, I didn't see that at first. Oh, got it. So took when they took urine from a male mouse and swabbed it every day for 1 week in the nostrils of female mice, um, I guess like since they smelled the urine or something like that, they felt like, oh man, I'm going to get pregnant or something. Let's see, compared to swabbed, yeah. So yeah, so they're kind of like they get some indication from the urine of a male mouse that they're going to like essentially like get laid, like and have a baby. So their uterus starts to get to prepare for that. Like okay, so all we know is that something from a male mouse, when you have a female mouse like smell it, makes their body react in a way that prepares them for pregnancy.
So the reason I didn't go with B was because it didn't address pheromones. I and
Well,
also
so let's see. So D says genetic variation between strain A male mice resulted in inconsistent pheromone concentration in the urine.
because I thought they weren't using because it, hold on,
Mm-hmm.
because we used strain A versus strain B, and it was like
Well, okay,
there were two
so
different strains of mice, and I assumed the reason they didn't have as much reaction. I ignored genetic variation at first. Like I was assuming, I was trying to think like research wise, the reason they wouldn't have as much of a reaction, I assumed, because I was one looking for pheromone, and I was thinking, well, the concentration wasn't as high. That would be why potentially why the uterine weight would not increase in one strain versus the other. But I was also trying to relate the fact that they were two different strains of mice that might have something to do with it.
yeah, there's three strains of mice. Um,
It was a long question. I see the strain three.
yeah. So essentially, they're using strain A urine as like a control over here, because they're using it. They're using urine from strain A only, and they're using it on uh, strain B and strain like C, right? So it's going to be the uh, it's that's the thing that they use as a control. So we can't say that that is going to be the problem, especially if it says genetic variation, because they're inbred.
See, I'm not trying to see some of those. Sometimes I miss those words because I'm not trying to over focus on. Like, I didn't think that was that big a deal. Okay, and Brad.
Yeah, because all right, so like try this like strategy out, like for instance, like let's not even read this and let's just look at the choices, right?
Okay.
So A says conserved evolution of pheromones preserves the ability of male mice to elicit pheromone mediated. So conserved evolution means that something it through various lines has been
Retained. Like
yes.
that break. Yeah.
Yeah. So okay, that seems to be pretty at least like logically consistent as a statement, right? Um, and then B says the basically the molecular profile of the neurons that can smell and detect these pheromones differs between the mouse strains. And yeah, that would make sense because they're different. They have different DNA, right?
So one reason that turned me off to these is I really didn't understand it that well. Like, I mean, I kind of see that now, but I wasn't. I felt like I wasn't getting
Mm-hmm.
enough relationship to the things they discussed in there because I knew this was testing the concept of pheromones.
Mm-hmm.
And not that B doesn't sort of address that, but it wasn't stated, and not that it had to be stated in the answer choice, but I felt like I was trying to address that because I knew what they were asking about. Like,
so
I didn't really think about chemosensory neurons. I mean, I guess chemical. I can see that.
yeah, because all right, so this is like how I see this, right? Basically, I just see it like this. Um, you take something from a male mouse and you give that to. So, sorry, you take something from strain A and you give it to strain B and strain C, right? If it's the same thing that you're giving to both of those groups, then that thing is going to be like the control, right? It's going to be not the control, sorry, it's going to be the independent variable. And the dependent variable is going to be on whether or not the female mouse can smell it or not. Right? Like
Yeah.
A is given to B and C. And B can smell it. C apparently cannot. But since we're giving A to both B and C, like that is the thing that stays the same. And
I mean, in all fairness, they didn't tell us they could have messed up the concentration. I would assume that could potentially mess it up. Like,
well, so D won't be it for a couple of reasons.
okay.
First of all, genetic variation, because they're inbred, right? And second
there'd
of
be
all,
less genetic variation if they were inbred.
yeah.
But I mean, that
And
still doesn't matter though, right? I mean,
so we're trying to figure out what, like, is the issue coming, like, if you just had the same thing that you gave to both B and C, and you get one type
mm,
of response for B and one type for C, it's like more logical to see that B and C are different rather than A is different. Like if A is like, let's say like A1 is given to B and A2 is given to C, right? Then they won't be the same thing that you're giving to each of them,
mm,
right? It's like let me just give you another example. Like let's say that something smells really bad, okay? And you and I, you can smell it, I can't smell it, right? So is that because the thing that smells really bad, when it goes into my nose, a smaller concentration goes in, and in your nose, a higher concentration goes in? Or is it more logical that the smell is the thing that's constant, and you and I are the ones that are different, so maybe I can't smell it as well as you can?
okay.
So think about it like in terms of like independent variable, dependent variable, right?
Okay. This one I thought was stupid, and I still disagree with them. Um, the pairs of research participants interacted 10 minutes, rated themselves and their partners and personality traits, and then rated the accuracy of their partners' ratings of them. The partners' ratings were rated as more accurate if they were close to the participants' own self ratings. And then the finding illustrates. So I knew there was no self fulfilling prophecy. So I knew A was out. I did not know what self verification. I wrote it down like in my notes, but like I didn't know what self verification was. Um, I knew it wasn't self efficacy because that's like you're able to you have the self efficacy to go to the gym, whatever. You can adhere to your goals, whatever. If you have a high level of self efficacy, I knew that wasn't tested, so I knew it was between these two, and I thought it was self serving bias. I think I wrote down the difference, but like
Yeah, so you can kind of like a lot of this stuff, like I don't know what that is, but I can kind of figure it out based on it says self verification, right? So if they're rating themselves and their partners first, right? And
mhm.
then they verify that by looking at their partner's ratings, right?
Yeah, again, and I see that, but like I was trying to use the content that I learned here.
Yeah,
Like,
but this is a critical. Like, remember, I've been telling you from the beginning. Like, content, it's not gonna really test that. It's going to
yeah.
test, like everything, but
Well, I mean, I knew the self-serving bias, though. I knew that it was where you like attribute positive things to your. Well, I guess technically it's only when you attribute positive things to yourself if you think they're positive, like that are internal, and you blame outside things as external when bad things happen to you. So I guess that's not exactly
yeah,
this.
yeah. Like this is basically like basically, whatever. Me and my partner, I I let's say I rate myself as a 10, and I rate the accuracy of my partner's rating of me. And if my partner says I'm a 10, I would say, yeah, that's accurate. So it's like I'm verifying what my partner thinks about my personality. And if it's close to what I think about my personality, then I'm verifying that.
Hmm.
Because do you see like what they're doing in the experiment? It's like they rate themselves on personality traits, and then they rate how accurate their partner's rating is of their personality.
Okay. Yeah, I
So
think I tried to use the answers too much and rely less on the question.
yeah, yeah. The question is the heart of it. Like remember, I keep saying like go question by question, and just you can answer like almost like all these problems like or questions like if you really just understand what the question's really asking, because everything is about the question on this test, like more so than the passages, more so than the content. Like, um, I didn't know what self verification was, but like this right here is a verification, isn't it? Like, do you like like kind of like understand like what they do here, like in the experiment?
Yeah, I mean, it's just when I was going through it the first time, like I didn't know for sure because I didn't remember learning self-verification, and I mean,
Yeah, me
yeah,
neither.
sometimes the words give it away, kind of what it
Yeah.
means, but also they use distractors, and I was trying to I was like,
Yeah.
okay, well, I thought the self-serving bias was close to what that was, and I went over that definition again. It was a little off. And that's why I picked it originally because I thought it was closer. I was like, okay, well, self verification is probably a distractor. It sounds too good to be true. Like, I mean, yeah, I could have gone back up and read that.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, because see how they say like partners' ratings were rated as more accurate if they were close to their own self ratings.
yeah. Okay. Yeah, that was just like an example of like where I knew the content didn't. I just didn't.
Mm-hmm.
I just wasn't confident picking self verification because I hadn't seen it before, and I wasn't 100%
Yeah.
sure if that was. And the truth is, like, I didn't know for sure if that was true because a lot of times I've taken so many practice tests. A lot of times the distractors are wrong.
Yeah, I would say that all of these are distractors, though.
Yeah, but I knew what this was. I knew that was for sure incorrect. I knew this had nothing to do with it. I was like, oh well, self-serving bias, like.
Well, like
Is
if
where
you
you
know
really
if you knew what all of these were, right, you would know that it wouldn't be those things. Therefore, it must be that, right?
yeah, I think I wanted myself to believe self-serving bias was
Yeah.
things is what happened. Like I went and reviewed that because I think
Try to
cognitive,
let
like I think
go
it
of
was
the
cognitive bias. I had a little confused between cognitive bias, self-serving bias.
yeah.
I think I was mistaking cognitive bias a little bit with that. So I went and reviewed those, wrote those down again. So
Yeah,
um,
yeah.
it does
Try to
occasionally happen where I'll see things and I kind of forget. Like I recognize a lot. I can get a lot right. Sometimes I'll forget the definition a little bit, or like
Yeah.
like with that one we went over, the somatic symptom thing. Like I knew what that was pretty well, but
Yeah. So just yeah, try to let go of like the content stuff.
all right.
Like try to like think about it first and see like what what would make sense. Like completely understand what they're asking for and stuff. Because
I'll
like
go
that's
back and make sure I
how
read
we've
them.
been. Yeah, that's how we've
I
been
didn't
doing
go
this.
back and verify. I think I was like, well, this doesn't sound, I know this is BS. I know this is BS. I don't know what this is. Well, this might be true. And I picked that. So I
Yeah,
should
yeah.
have, if that was a little true or felt like it didn't mean it was true. So yeah. Um, this is just something I didn't know about serotonin that I learned.
Wait, what was it?
It was just something about
That's an important thing to
serotonin.
know.
Well, I know I got it wrong now. I don't know why I picked endorphins.
So tell me what these are. Since you like content so much.
All right, acetylcholine is basically what you use for like the nerve muscular structure, like the nerve, like the impulse action potentials. Acetylcholine's involved in that, excitatory,
All right,
usually.
so all neurotransmitters will be involved in that though.
That's why I didn't pick it.
But just what you're saying is true for all neurotransmitters. But just tell me like be more specific, right? So okay, these are for like motor proteins, like motor function.
Yeah, like muscle contraction.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I learned about this when I was like a kid and I saw this movie called The Rock. It's like a whatever Michael Bay movie, and I talk about it all the time because that's how I learned. They talk about a nerve gas called VX gas, which is real, and sarin gas is real as well, right?
Yeah.
So those things work as acetylcholinesterase inhibitors. They break down. So acetylcholinesterase breaks down acetylcholine. It blocks that. So you have too much acetylcholine. So what does that mean? That means that you're producing too much of that motor, like contraction. So you twitch, you spasm until you die. Yeah. What about GABA?
That's a inhibitory motor neuron, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Gamma is the excitatory one. That's just what I remember for those.
Oh, you mean glutamine?
Isn't it? Well, isn't there GABA and there's gamma? Or is it GABA? Glutamate's excitatory.
Glutamate, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah,
And GABA's inhibitory.
So that GABA is so like if you had like neuropathy or something like that, or if you had a hard time falling asleep, you would take something that would work as an to upregulate the GABA stuff. Endorphins are for pain. They're like opioids.
Yeah.
Serotonin is for mood as well as wakefulness.
I'm trying to remember what the implicated in study one.
So like an SSRI, like you know what that is, right?
Yeah, for like antidepressant,
Yeah.
the
So
regular.
that's a selective serotonin reuptake inhibitor. It inhibits the reuptake of serotonin, so you have more serotonin in the synaptic cleft. Okay, cool.
I was having a hard time, I guess, thinking aggression was mood exactly. I was thinking more that was like. I'm trying to remember. I'm trying to like go back and remember why I picked this. Emotional problems common among children with. Oh, I think I was focused on. I think I was focused on hunger and eating releases endorphins. I think that's why I got. I think I went to. Sometimes I do that. I see that serotonin mood regulates. Yeah.
We see psychosocial over there.
Okay, I see that I was rushing too. This is closer to the end. I see sometimes I'm trying to.
So you see
these, I'm trying to like make myself pick answers that are.
You see these like tints that I wear?
Yeah.
They block blue light from computer monitors because blue light makes your brain make more serotonin, which also works to keep you awake. So that's why it's hard for people to like fall asleep if they're exposed to the blue light. But it's also something that makes you happy. So like when when it's like cloudy and stuff like that, there's like light therapy, blue light therapy, where you look at a blue light and you make more serotonin that way.
Okay. I mean, I knew what these were. I guess I was trying to relate it to aggression and fight.
Yeah.
I was thinking of endorphins as endorphins are like feel good, like it's not. They're not hormones, are they? They're just neurotransmitters.
Well, yeah, neurotransmitters are going to still act as hormones.
But I know people who take like certain painkillers, they help release like the endorphins.
They're like opiate. Like if you take like a artificial painkiller, it's going to be like an opioid, and like endorphins are the natural version in your body that you make.
I guess because I kept looking at food insecurity and risk of hunger, and I was thinking, oh, like when you're full and you've eaten a good meal.
Let me see the explanation, because I don't really see this really good connection either. Okay, fine. Like, you, this is a bit of a stretch.
Yeah, so I didn't know that
serotonin usually is associated with like if you don't have enough of it, you get depressed. But like, sure, it can affect like aggression as well.
But I did. I took bioenergetics nutrition classes, and we never went over serotonin being involved in aggression or appetite. I've never heard that in my life.
Yeah, like, no, me neither.
I mean, you talk about like leptin and ghrelin, but I've never heard of that ever in my life.
All right, yeah,
that's why I was really like, I was trying to make the stretch to the food because we were talking about.
Yeah, I think I'm with you on this question being bad.
But I
'Cause
can't do
I
this
I
on the
don't.
questions in the real thing though. I do this too much. That's why I
Well,
get frustrated.
I'm with you on this one though, because
Alright.
like no, I don't remember ever hearing that ever.
But I wrote
I
it
mean-
down in my notes. I was like, all right, well, I know this.
Yeah,
I
you
never
gotta
did
be
that.
ready for their crap.
I'm trying to remember if I knew why this one was. Statement most likely.
Okay, study 2. But let's see. Food insecurity, stronger impact. So, okay, it has a really strong impact. Then they looked at personality traits, conscientiousness, and neuroticism. Okay, so like neuroticism is like kind of bad. So it's probably going to have a positive correlation to that. And conscientiousness is like a good trait. Um, and so if they're saying food insecurity is bad, then likely it's going to contribute, it's going to have a negative correlation with conscientiousness and a positive one with neuroticism.
Okay, I had the first part right.
Okay, yeah. So neuroticism is like you know, like people who, like really like anxious.
Yeah,
like,
my friend that she has a neurotic cat. Yeah, it's crazy.
Cat?
Yeah, it's very neurotic and anxious and spazzes at
Mhm.
people. It's So the first part, I'm trying to stay focused on. So the first part was what factor we're talking about first.
Oh,
trying to
just
remember
food
that.
insecurity and how it affects conscientiousness.
Okay,
and
so
neuroticism.
conscientiousness and neuroticism.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I wasn't thinking. I'm back with you. All right, long day. So conscientiousness, I noticed was a good trait. So like, oh yeah, I got it. So the more conscientious you are, that would be negatively associated with the food insecurity because they're opposite, basically. And then I guess sometimes I have negatively associated with neuroticism. I guess that was confused with why that was positive. I was thinking taking away.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe the
So,
conscientiousness takes away that tendency, and the
yeah, you're
neuroticism
thinking
adds
of like
to.
positive symptoms, negative symptoms.
Yeah.
But I'll make it simple for you because it's better to think about it. So like in all the other subject, like in math, it's like proportional or inversely proportional, right?
Oh.
But they are, I don't like how they say positively, negatively. So just think of it this way: if it's positive correlation, it's like proportional, and if it's negative, it's inversely proportional. So like if food insecurity goes up, neuroticism goes up.
I just didn't read that well enough. I understand that now. Yeah. All right. Yeah, I got this one wrong too because I thought it was vestibular sense because of like the inner ear lymph and all that with balance, and they're saying it was
eyes open though. If it was just your inner ear balance, then why would you need to keep your eyes open, right?
Yeah, but I was thinking, isn't that also related to like the balance of the kinesthesia or whatever?
Yeah, but like, isn't that based on like your body movements and stuff? The main thing here is you need to have your eyes open, right?
Well, I guess I was paying attention to the balance part because like that doesn't have to do with your vestibular sense and
yeah.
Wait, I actually said motion paralysis. I said motion paralysis, so I didn't know what that meant. Actually, I did pick vestibular sense.
Yeah,
I hadn't paid sensory interaction.
Yeah, so like if you close your eyes, you block off the sense of sight. And it's saying that in order to balance on one foot, many people need to keep their eyes open, which means that they need to be aware of their surroundings through the sense of sight.
But with a sensory interaction, would that be like smell, taste, and okay, so just the sense. Okay, all right. Yeah, but most of the issues I'm having were not really consonant there. Everything else I got right. Some of these I think I understand. I'll go through the ones I did not get. Trying to look at my notes, see which ones I did not get. I'll skip through. Oh, this was like a.
Oh, it's really asking about aldol condensation.
Yeah, and I went through and tried to understand the mechanism. I'm just like, it's kind of not worth it to me. Like
that's not worth. Yeah.
Well, I don't understand. Like,
knowing just like how like not the mechanism, but knowing like the reactant or what it turns into, could be useful, I guess.
I knew it was A or B because I went back and looked. I went here and I looked. Like, okay, well, I kind of followed what was happening here at the methyl group or something, but like I didn't realize it would form like the single bond, or no, like there wouldn't be a double bond there.
So okay, let me check this out.
Actually, no, I don't get this question at all. Never mind. This is what I didn't get.
So let's see. So let me look at the thing. Okay, so let's see what's happening. Okay. So what's happening here? So we have compound 1, compound 2, and it forms compound 3. So they come together, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, it seems like this just like binds there, right? And loses the double bond.
Yep.
To make this, right? Right? Okay, and then let's see. Step 2. To get from this to this, we get 2 things. Okay, so it seems like a ring is formed. So like, it seems like this perhaps like binds to that to make like a double bond.
Okay. I figured you like I just couldn't follow the ring, the double like.
Oh, the ring closing thing.
Yeah. I mean, I knew it was gonna close, but I wasn't sure. Like my orgo's not that strong anymore. Like I.
Oh yeah, yeah. So like I am not using any like orgo kind of knowledge here. Like I don't even remember what aldol condensation was, but I'm just looking at what they're giving us. Just trust like, that they'll give you like the stuff that you need and that you can reason through it. Cuz like we can read like that first part, like we reason through that this just connects to that and loses a double bond, right? And then in order for compound 3 to turn into, compound 4A and 4B, right? Like what changes, right? Like compound 3 has one like pentane ring or whatever, and compound 4 has this 6 like carbon ring thing, right? So this thing turns into a ring. Right?
Yep.
Okay, so let's check out the question again. So, which of the following compounds is most likely to be a major product in step 2 if the aldol condensation is not followed by a dehydration reaction? So the dehydration part is not going to happen.
Yeah.
So essentially, like, if you go up again, sorry, or if you like can like make it smaller, I guess I can see more. Okay, so do you see how this oxygen isn't here?
Yeah, I noticed that, and I was trying to figure out, like, I was kind of trying to use the words a little bit because I knew that I know the dehydration, like I knew we were losing H2O.
But like saying it says cyclizes, so that's another way that you know that it turns into a ring.
Okay.
But yeah, so yeah, dehydration, so it's gonna lose a water, right?
So I knew it wasn't losing water because I know like when you're forming peptide bonds or losing, breaking peptide bonds, like I understand what
That
this
is
is
when you lose a
doing.
water, though.
Huh?
Oh, dehydration is when you lose a water, though.
Yeah, there was it the other one, the
Uh,
condon.
hydrolysis?
Yeah, hydrolysis is where
Yeah.
you.
Condensation and dehydration synthesis are the same.
That's where you form. That's where you form them, right?
Oh,
Peptide
like
bond.
you'll form like a bond,
Yeah.
and um, a water will be uh, will come out as a reactant.
Okay. I was making sure I had that right.
Yeah. So basically, what's going to happen is like this thing with like uh, this like oxygen guy, like when this adds to this goes like that, so it turns into like an O minus, and it makes that new bond, and then that O minus can just get a hydrogen to be an OH group, and it would need to get another one to be this, and then leave.
So I guess I was kind of trying to figure out because I knew the only differences we were talking about basically is first the double bond and then the oxygen where there's or alcohol. And I was confused because I was looking here, I'm like, okay, well, dehydration is not happening.
Yeah.
So
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to.
Yeah. So like this thing over here would turn into dehydration when this turns into H2O and leaves, right?
Oh, wait a second. I see it now. So the
But if
I think I know what I did now. So the dehydration, you're losing water. So like if we look here, there's two oxygens and there's
yes,
only one here. That's why we would have two left. But
yeah,
like
yeah,
I missed that. So that's why it would be A and B. Actually, C and D would be out right away.
yeah. But it won't be B because that double bond, right, will only form because like check it out. Look at that. Look at that. Go to B. So how many bonds does that carbon have here?
We mean like how many things the carbon's bound to?
Yeah.
Or four? Or wait, two, four, one, two. Oh, more than five.
Yeah.
Yeah, five. There's
Yeah.
three things. There's three things bounded, and there's a double bond there. So five.
Yeah. And that can't happen, right? Carbon can only.
I didn't even look for. I mean, yeah, that doesn't fulfill the octet rule. I didn't even look at
Yeah.
that.
So that's why when this H2O leaves, it's going to like leave and it'll turn into like a double bond.
I didn't look at. I didn't think about looking at that. All right. All right.
Mm-hmm.
I had a bunch. There were several questions on this mechanism that I got right. This was the only one I think I got wrong. I guess I don't think it's worth trying to. I looked up aldol condensation briefly. I don't think it's really worth learning because.
Yeah, you don't need it because like I don't remember it, but I just looked at what they showed us, and you can figure it out from that.
Yeah, I was just getting a little. I think I just kind of get on these and I get a little nervous, and I see there's two oxygen and one. So is that? I just want to make sure this is why I understood there was forming a ring here. In the process of forming the ring, we lose water, and that's where the oxygen went, which eliminates these two.
Yep.
And the double bond that the other part I didn't get was the double bond thing, which either you would have had to have known where the electrons went, or I could have just looked at the five that there are too many bonds. But I wouldn't have thought to look for that though.
Oh,
now you told me I'll look now, and if I see anything like that in the question, but I would have thought about following the octet rule there.
Yeah, think about let's say we take a carbonyl group, right, and we want to add a bond to it, right? This carbon is bound to four things, right? It's double bonded to the oxygen, and it has the two ones on the side. So if we want to go from there to this, right, which is kind of what they're doing, the intermediate step involves that. Because because the carbon's double bound to an oxygen first, and then we want it to just be double bonded to like a carbon, right? So that means we have to add a carbon to it and then get rid of the oxygen. So here, I'll use a different color. So here we have it's double bonded to an oxygen. Here it's double bonded to, a carbon over there, right? So we have 1, 2, 3 carbons, 1, 2, 3, 4 carbons. So basically we get rid of an oxygen and we add a carbon. So that means that the intermediate step is this, where we still have the oxygen, but we added another carbon to it, right? And then the next thing to do is to make a double bond here, which means that this guy has to leave.
Okay.
All right.
I know why I did that one. Yeah,
Oh yeah,
not
thermodynamic
for that.
stability, right?
Yeah.
So first of all of this other stuff has nothing to do with thermodynamics. Thermodynamics, what are the stuff in thermodynamics?
Heat.
What's that?
Heat.
Like enthalpy, right? Delta
Yeah.
H, and like Gibbs free energy and entropy, right?
Yeah.
So heat of combustion is gonna be like enthalpy of combustion. There's also like formation.
I don't know why I didn't pick that. Like, I knew it wasn't boiling points. I knew you couldn't determine that from that. I guess I wanted to go with UV visible absorption spectrum because I was thinking like
Mm-hmm.
that you could infer like I thought you could infer the stability of the compound that you're putting through that absorption spectrum. Like you can. I don't know.
Like absorption spectra will help you like figure out like functional groups,
Like structure, so I can't.
things like that. Because
I guess I was thinking you can. I guess I was thinking you could tell like what structures are more stable. I mean, which is true, but I guess it's not thermodynamic stability.
Mm-hmm. Hey, remember this type of question? Remember
I
this?
didn't know it. Yeah, I didn't.
We had remember the Ka over K naught.
Yeah, I remember that one.
So see how it's like the same kind of thing where they give you this a ratio thing, right? And remember when I told you the important thing is if the denominator is greater than the numerator, it's going to be less than 1. That stuff. Do you remember that stuff?
Yeah, but I didn't know how to get to. I didn't know that KW over KA equals KB.
Oh, okay, yeah. So
I knew that it was a base just based on looking at it and knowing acid base type rules, but I didn't know the part about the KB. And I think I wrote down something. I wrote down a formula or something, but
yeah. So remember how I said it all comes back to the law of mass action? So KW is basically how you get pH, which is how it behaves in water. So KW is going to be like, 10 to the negative 14.
Yep.
So, yeah, and that's going to be Ka times Kb, or it'll be PKW is equal to PKA plus PKB.
Okay, and for this, make sure I have this right. 'Cause this is crap on this. All right. So PKA is like where like if it's low, that means it's really if the PK is low, it's really acidic. But for the KA, if it's really high, that means it's a strong acid. Or if the KB is really high, that means it's a strong base. Right?
Yeah. So this one actually it's actually like kind of like algebra, because here KW is equal to KA times KB, right? Now let's solve for KB. What do we do?
You just have to divide by KA.
Yep.
Yeah, but I didn't know that though.
Is that?
Yeah, but I didn't. I was looking. I kept like, how do I get KB? And I didn't know. I wasn't thinking about the. Is it KA times KB equals KW?
Yeah.
No, it's KA times KB is KW is the formula.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm not trying to get hung up on formulas, but if I don't know it, I'm not super math savvy.
Yeah, yeah. So
That's why I was pissed off. Like I got this right away. I'm like, oh crap, what is? I didn't know that was KB.
Yeah.
If I had known that relationship KW is K to KB, then I would have been able to do it. That's why I got it wrong. So that's why I guessed. Which got me a point off.
Yeah. So that stuff is for all like the K stuff, like the law of mass action stuff. But yeah.
I got this one wrong because I know what a limiting reagent is, but I couldn't determine if it was A or B, and it was at the top.
All right, let's see. So, okay, they say a 2-1 ratio of. Wait. Oh, that's a product. All right, so they use 2 grams of zinc and 2 grams of iodine, right?
Mm-hmm.
And in the product, they get a lot more. Oh wait, no. This is okay. So 2-1 ratio of iodine to zinc. So in the product, they get a lot more iodine. Zinc, iodine, okay. 2-1 ratio of iodine atoms to zinc atoms is a product. Wait, is that the thing that they're getting, or is that the thing that we're supposed to get?
Yeah, I don't really.
Hold
So
on.
when I looked up the answer solution
Oh
to this,
no, it makes sense. This thing over here. So there should be twice as much iodine than zinc. So this is what you should get. And since we have equal amounts of both, and we need to have twice as much of this, right? Then this is the limiting reagent.
I think I got it confused. Like I was trying to read it like.
Oh yeah, they have it here too.
But like, isn't the limiting reagent like what you will run out of first?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but I was thinking it took 2 moles of iodide per 1 mole of zinc.
Correct.
I guess.
But you have, that means that you would need 4 grams of iodine, right? You have 2 grams of zinc and 2 grams of iodine, but you need 4 grams of iodine. You need double the amount.
Oh, so wait, so
Mm-hmm.
it says, I'm getting confused now. All right, so we had 2 grams of this and 2 grams of this, and they're saying you need 2 to 1, so you would need 4 grams of iodide per 2 gram. Sorry.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
All right, 4 grams of iodine per 2 grams of zinc.
Yeah.
I'm just getting confused why the zinc.
Yeah, why they
we
put it
need
first
more,
here?
We need more zinc because we have more iodine, right?
No. So we have 2 grams of zinc and 2 grams of iodine, right? Or whatever. But we need like a 2-1 ratio of iodine to zinc. So we need 2 times more. Sorry. So like iodine equals 2 times that of zinc. Sorry, that kind of looks like a... Like it says a 2-1 ratio of iodine to zinc, right? Which means that for every 1 zinc atom, you need 2 iodine atoms.
I don't know why I'm having a hard time visualizing that. Like I would have to do it like dimensional analysis where I like write down 2 grams of iodine, and then on the bottom I put its molecular weight and then the moles, and then do that for each. Because that's how I did it in Gen Chem. But like
Oh, wait.
that's a waste of time.
But like, think about, so like you have zinc here and that, right? So the reaction would look like this, right?
Okay.
Like you see how there's two, you need like
Two molecules of iodine.
Yeah.
And 1 mole of zinc.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why I'm not understanding limiting. Like I what we're running out of first.
Yeah. So
we're running out of zinc first because we have 2 molecules of iodine.
No. So this is what we need, right? But what we have is 2 grams of zinc and 2 grams of iodine, right? But we need twice as much iodine, but we're only given the same. This ratio is 1-to-1.
I see that for the top part, yeah.
Yeah, but we need there to be twice as much iodine. So we can't have them be equal. We need the iodine to be twice as much. Here, let's do another example. How about this? This is so calcium chloride, right? That breaks apart into calcium ion plus 2 chloride ions, right?
Okay.
So the ratio of chloride ions to calcium ions is what?
It's 2 to 1.
Mm-hmm. So that means that we need, for every 1 mole of calcium, we need 2 of the chloride. So this is how that's what we need. Now, let's say that I give you the same amount, like 2 grams, right, of each. So just think about the number in the mole ratio that's higher, right? That you need more of that. But if you're given equal amounts of both, which is a 1-1 ratio, and you need a 2-1 ratio, whichever one needs to be the 2 is going to run out first.
So in this situation here, I understand. I think I'm having a hard time with the limiting reagent part. Like I understand the reaction. I see like, okay, based on this and how it breaks apart, I understand it's a 2 to 1. I understand the ratio. I'm having a hard time visualizing which one was running out first.
Oh, all right. Let me do it this way. So let's say we want to make calcium chloride. This guy, we want to make that, right? So I say, like, let's make this. That means we need some of this and we need some of that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So let's say let's just make the numbers easy. 1 gram of this and 1 gram of that, right?
Yep.
So what's going to happen is we're going to get this 1 gram of that and 1 gram of this. But we need so this is what we need. and this is what we have. So how do we get from what we have to what we need?
Wait, so we need twice. There's two molecules or of the chloride. We need two of them.
Yeah.
It's not an even ratio because it's two. It's two because it's 2 to 1.
Mm-hmm.
So we need twice as much of the chlor.
Yeah.
But they're both the same. We have 1 gram of each.
Yeah.
I don't. Okay. There's 1 gram of each. We need more chlorine.
Yeah.
So that's the limiting reagent.
Yeah. Because think about it. If you need more of it, you ran out of it.
Yeah, I think for some reason with the ratio and the way I was like, I'm having a hard time getting there. All right.
Yeah,
so,
think of the limiting reagent as the reagent that stops you from having the thing run to completion. So it means that you don't have enough of it.
I'm with you there.
Yeah.
But I have a really hard time. So hold on. They're saying we had 2 grams of each of the thing.
Yeah.
I get that. They're saying there's more iodine to zinc, so it's 2 to 1.
In what we need. This is what we need.
This is what we have.
Yes.
Okay. So we
So
have
something's going to run out there. Like something's going to run out. Like think about, let's say you need $100, but you only have $50. You're not going to be able to, you have the limiting reagent, there's money.
God, I hate gen chems. I hate math. Like, I did these in school fine, but like I did it with I would set up the dimensional analysis to see what the moles was, and I would always pick the one with the least amount of moles or whatever to get to it, if that makes sense. So hold on. So all right, I see this. I see that what we have here is 2 grams. It's 1 to 1. We need 2 to 1 iodine.
Yeah, 2-1 ratio, yeah.
I just can't visualize that in this situation. I don't understand why.
Okay,
I'm
so
saying that you need
what you said about dimensional analysis. All right, this thing that I just highlighted, that should help. That should answer that question. So that's saying that the product is equal to, so the mass of iodine, right, which is 2 grams, and whatever zinc equals the mass of product. So the product is just going to be this, the sum of the two.
Wait, are they saying we won't? Hold on. We have a 1 to 1 ratio, and they're saying we want to get to this, the 2 to 1.
Oh, yeah, so it says that we need a 2 to 1 ratio of the moles, and they say that the mass of iodine and the zinc that is reacted equals the mass of the product, right?
All right. I feel like I have this, and I just can't finish it. All right. I understand that for every 2 moles.
On the dimensional analysis thing, which is actually good, because it's true that this is a mole ratio and this is just the grams.
I guess I'm saying for every 2, you need 2 moles of iodine for 1 mole of zinc.
Yeah.
And I'm seeing that we have a lot of iodine though. I'm like, oh, I have 2 moles of iodine.
All right, let's do the dimensional analysis stuff. Here, can you bring up that periodic table?
I don't think it lets you bring it up for review, but
all right, I'll just look it up. Periodic table. Okay, zinc 65, iodine 126. Okay, so essentially, whoops, zinc, iodine, right? All right, so it seems like roughly like one iodine atom is basically twice the mass of a zinc atom.
Yep.
Now, uh, for two iodides, it would then have to be so okay. If I say like iodine, so I'll just write mass of iodine is equal to two times the mass of zinc, right? Just like 65 times 2 is 130 and iodine is 126, so it's basically
Basically.
yeah.
Well, for
So
two moles, but
yeah, so if the mass of iodine is equal, so the mass of iodine is basically equal to the mass of zinc, right? So now if we have now to find the mass of iodine 2, it would then be 4 times the mass of
Oh,
zinc, right?
wait, I think I get it. I think I get it now. I was getting messed up with the numbers of being more. So wait, so if I look back at here, zinc 2 grams, iodine crystals 2 grams, it says 2 to 1 ratio iodine to zinc. So basically I can think like 4 grams to 2 grams, and zinc's gonna run out first, which is why it's a limiting reagent, right? Because there's more of iodine.
Well, iodine is the limiting reagent because iodine weighs more. So if you have an equivalent amount in mass of the two, the thing that weighs more, you're going to have less atoms of.
I'm gonna get myself confused all over again now because I kept thinking it was zinc. Okay,
So let's think about it this way. So let's say you have an atom. What's like heavy to you? Lead, right?
Okay.
So, and then what's light? How about like hydrogen, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So if I give you an equivalent amount in mass of the two, like let's say I give you 1 kilogram of hydrogen and 1 kilogram of lead, the thing that is heavier, because each atom weighs more and it's the same mass, means that there's going to be less atoms of the heavier thing in it.
Okay.
Like if you think of like hydrogen as a penny and lead as like a quarter, and you have $1, you have a lot more pennies that can go into the dollar, right? Than quarters. So since iodine is heavier, meaning an atom of iodine weighs twice as much as an atom of zinc, and you have 2 grams equal masses of both, the thing that is heavier you'll have fewer atoms of.
Okay. I never did it before, like tried to concept like there's certain like reactions I can look at and like I can know like the mole relationship and stuff in my head and do it like and understand things going on. But like this particular thing, I've always done just with the math and figured out each one and compared it moles and then picked the one that was less. Like, I never sat and thought about it. That's why I'm having a hard time with this one. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, just so basically you need more iodine atoms and we have fewer iodine atoms. We basically have like, because iodine weighs more, and since we have the same weight of the two, the thing that weighs more is going to be, there's going to be less of that in it. Or like, how about this? Like the price of gold and the price of silver. Right? I don't know if that's a good example for you or something. I'm trying to make something that like that you can kind of relate to or something. I don't know, karate, right? So like a weak punch and a strong punch, and let's say you do equal amounts of both, um, or say that you want the equal like overall like strength of both, right?
Okay.
If it's a weak punch, you're gonna have to throw a lot more of those weak punches to add up to a certain amount of power, right? And for a strong punch, you don't have to do as much of those to get that same amount.
But is it always going to be, it's a 2-1 ratio of iodine. And we said iodine has a mass that's greater than zinc. It's the heavier thing. But it's saying we need a two. We want to obtain a 2-to-1 ratio of the iodine atoms to zinc.
Yeah.
And I don't know, like,
Uh-huh.
if that's like an always exception, like I could just remember it. But if I would have to do the math. I guess I could sit here one day and like look through it, try to understand it. Like it just doesn't. That's why I always did the math, because it would give you that number and you knew if it was.
Yeah. So that's why I was looking at. That's why I looked at the molar masses, so we can do the math.
But I was wondering, like, I was trying to like hopefully get to it without that, because that's a huge waste of time. I mean, that would take me a minute and a half.
I was trying to explain that, but let's do the math then. So 2 grams of whatever zinc, right?
Yeah.
And there's 65 grams in 1 mole of zinc, right?
Yep.
So this is basically going to give you like 1 like 30th, right? And then 2 grams of iodine, and there's 126 grams of iodine in 1 mole of iodine. And this is going to be basically 1 like 60th, right? Like moles?
Yeah.
So which one is the bigger number?
The one. Wait. The 1/60th is smaller, right? Or is it bigger?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. 1/60th is smaller, right? So like basically 2 grams of iodine is 1/60th of a mole, and 2 grams of zinc is like 1/30th of a mole. So you have a lot. So this isn't a 1-1 ratio, right? Like, yeah, like that. Like, basically, like if they were both 1/30th or 1/60th, it would be a 1-1 ratio. But you basically have twice the amount of zinc as you do iodine, when it should be the other way around.
That's the only way I can get to this. Is that's how I would do it.
Okay, that works.
But like I was hoping I could get through it without doing that. But I guess if I this is just one exception with stoichiometry that I'm just like.
Oh yeah. It's okay. So basically, like what we have is 1/30th of a mole of zinc, and we have 1/60th of a mole of iodine, and we have less iodine than we do zinc, but we need more iodine than zinc. We need twice as much, but we really just have twice as much zinc. So we have an excess amount of zinc. So all this iodine is going to be used up first.
And I think somebody on Reddit too said there's something in here that said like essentially said that zinc was left over. Like I'm trying to remember where that was.
Oh, right there.
Yeah,
zinc. All right, that actually will give you the answer too.
That made more sense than that because.
Yeah, so if it's unreacted, right, that means that you still have some left.
Yeah.
So you have an excess amount of zinc.
Yeah. So that would have given it to you without doing anything. But
Yep.
It's good to have both ways.
Yeah, there's like a couple of, like, yeah, there's this way and then there's this way. Um, but yeah, the unreacted one gives it away as well. And then here it says reacted zinc as well. So yeah.
Okay, cool. Are we out of time, or do we do a little more?
Let's see. We're like 12 minutes over, so we could do like another, like, we could do until like whatever. We'd let, like, so it'll be like 2.5 hours.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I got this one wrong. That was because hold on, let me move this out of the way. All right. Yeah. So I just like in my head, kind of conceptually, like I didn't open. I mean, I opened the periodic table to look real quick, but I was like, I knew in the lowest energy state that
okay, all right. So this is one of the things that we have that you have to know. It's like an exception.
Yeah. That's why I got it wrong, I think.
Yeah. So like
I knew the 4S.
Bring up like a periodic table. Like if you can't do this, bring it up through like Google, because I'll have to show it to you on that. But there's these exceptions which are, there's like half filled and full, like filled d orbitals.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah,
that's why I knew the four. Because like you have to have the. You remove. Hold on. Like if like I'm thinking of it in terms of like if they give you something and you have to remove from the higher energy shell first, right?
Yeah. So it depends on what, if it's filled or half filled. So, like, all right, can you bring up like a periodic table so I can like draw on it?
Yeah. Hold on.
Yeah. Yeah. Basically, the one. Yeah. I'll show you. Yeah.
We don't need the one with mass, I guess.
No, just yeah. So okay. So basically, or this is kind of like blurry, but okay. So, wait, 25. Okay, so these guys. Hold on, let me do a different color. All right, these are the half-filled ones, and these are the filled ones. So what does that mean? So you see how these are, like, it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5 over here. So d orbitals, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So let's say for chromium, right? And I'm just doing the d orbitals. These are the d ones. It'll be, damn it. It'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, right? That's how it should be. Like, does this make sense so far?
Yeah.
All right. Now, that's how it should be. But since these are the ones that I circled over here, they're going to be half filled, which means that one comes from like the 4, wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, the 4s2. One of these electrons goes in and goes into the d orbital, making it half filled, making all of these d orbitals have like occupied by one electron.
Okay, but like, so if it's like, if like say copper, for example, if the d is full, it's 10 total, right? Electrons or whatever. Like, I know if you divide it by 5 or whatever, you draw the.
Yeah, so copper is going to behave, so just like these will behave like these, it'll behave like that. So copper has 9, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And it'll take one from the 4s2 to make it 4s1, and it'll go like that.
Yeah, so I knew. So I knew this would be the copper, the 3D, it's full, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I was confused why.
And it takes it
I
from
guess
the
I didn't
matrix.
count. I guess you're supposed to count the 29 electrons up. Like, I wasn't sure if the 4s2 was full or not. I guess. Like, I didn't know.
Yeah, you can get it. So like you don't have to count them all because it works in that order. Like so for instance, here, let me show you something. So pick any atom and I'll draw the electron configuration for you like super fast.
All right, I guess we can do rhodium, rhodium.
All right, rhodium, right? So check this out. Krypton, so Kr, right? And then this row over here, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yep.
5 S2, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 4 D7.
But so in this situation though, the d orbital is not completely full, just based on where it is.
Yeah. But,
okay.
But you see how the s orbital has to be filled first?
Yep.
So let's say we did cadmium, right? That would be krypton 5s 4. Oh wait, sorry, not cadmium. Silver. So 4D. So we would think that it would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, right? But it's gonna be like 10, and this is gonna be 1.
It's because of the rule or whatever. The S, like the higher shell or whatever, has to be. You have to take away from that because the 3D orbital has to be full.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
either full or half full.
What are the exceptions that I have to know though? Is it?
That's just for these and these. So like if it's 8, like this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You need to add like 2 of them, so that isn't going to happen. It's just when you need to add 1 more.
Okay.
So if it's basically here, like if it's basically like has 4 of them or 9 of them. Because if it's 4, you want it to go to 5 just to be half filled. And if it's 9, you want it to go to 10 to be like completely filled. But it's only because you just need to add 1 more electron.
Oh,
you can't,
I get it now. Okay.
Because you still want that 5s to exist. You still want the s to exist. You don't want it to disappear completely. So it can at most just give 1 electron.
Okay. I think I mostly got it. So
so it's the ones that I circled. Yeah, those rows.
Okay, so in its lowest energy electron configuration. Wait, just to make sure I understand what lowest energy means, that means it has the most potential. Like that's in its as an elemental state. What's the right way I'm supposed to say that? Like
like ground state.
Yeah.
So not excited.
Yeah.
So go back to the periodic table. So we're gonna do it for zinc now. Okay, that's zinc, right? Oh, and it's right here, so it's not gonna need to take anything away, right?
Right. So I knew it was already. I knew that it was full. The D whatever.
To be that.
But I was confused why though. Oh wait, never mind. That's why I confused because 3D comes before 4S. I was thinking like this one after, and that's why it was it. I was like, oh well, there's nothing in 4S or the.
Yeah. The reason for that is because the D's don't even exist for for these guys, right? Like it just goes from S to P.
So it's 1, 2. So it's 1S, 2S, 3S, 3D, 4S.
Yep.
So is that why I guess that's why I got it wrong then? So the answer is so I knew this was full. Oh, I looked at the wrong. Oh, I get it. So I looked at the one below it, and I was like, oh, it can't go up above that. So, all right.
Oh yeah. What?
I got it. I looked at the wrong. Like I looked here, like if I know it's this, so when I know how to get to here, so it's 3D10, it's full. And I guess I was thinking you wouldn't, because 4S2, is that filled? I don't understand that. Hold on.
Oh yeah. So that's what I was trying to show you when I said like pick any atom, because everything that like no matter what like if I pick this, that means that it has everything here, there, and there. So everything that comes before is going to be filled, except when it's in this row, column, or this column. Those are the only exceptions.
So wait, so for these ones, like we're saying this wouldn't be full.
Correct.
Oh, I get it now. I wasn't thinking that through. All right, I get it. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's why I made a mistake. I was missing that part. All right. Some of this was just math stuff that I messed up. Yeah, I don't know why I picked transferase on this one when it said 2-electron oxidation. I don't. Most of these math ones I did on my own. I got stuck between this one if it was FAD or NADH.
Remember which one is a 2-electron one? Oh, wait, hold on. What additional substance is necessary for reaction 2 to take place? Okay, so this thing over here. Oh, sorry. NADH is already reduced.
So it wasn't oxidizing. That's why. So it could oxidize the reaction.
Wait, sorry.
So NADH is reduced. FAD. I'm thinking so like FAD plus wants to lose electrons. So is that why? Because this is saying 2-electron oxidation that takes place. So I was trying to use the reaction to understand it, but
yeah. So the thing that gets reduced is an oxidizing agent. It oxidizes the other thing. So FAD, right? It gets reduced to, FADH2. But whatever it acts on gets oxidized. That's why it's, redox. Like one thing gets reduced, one thing gets oxidized. And a thing that gets oxidized reduces, and the thing that gets reduced oxidizes. So
I guess because I was thinking of it in terms of like FAD plus isn't that oxidized? NADH is in its reduced form, right?
Yeah.
It would be NADH2 is the reduced form.
No. So NADH is a reduced form, and for FAD, FADH2 is the reduced form. So
what are they asking here? They're asking. I don't understand what they're asking.
They're saying what's needed for reaction 2, right? So reaction 2 is an oxidation, right?
Okay.
And you need an oxidizing agent.
I guess that term kind of sometimes confuses me unless I see it. Like they ask like I know for a redox reaction, you need a reduction and oxidation to take place. And they're saying we want an oxidation. And I was thinking
So if we're oxidizing this guy, we're going to add something that gets reduced.
Oh, so NADH is going to be NADH is in its reduced form, so it's going to be oxidized to NAD plus.
Yeah.
All right, I missed. Yeah, I misunderstood that. I was thinking like that FAD is already oxidized, but that's why it's wrong. We want it to be reduced to be oxidized. Okay.
Yeah. So think of the thing that gets reduced is the oxidizing agent, and the thing that gets oxidized is the reducing agent.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
I didn't know. Like I knew that for Michaelis-Menten kinetics, I knew that like it could only affect like the reaction rate or whatever, like the reaction. Hold on. Like I knew that concentration of the enzyme wouldn't change the reaction rate.
I mean, they're just saying, what do you need in order for it to demonstrate enzyme kinetics, right? And enzyme kinetics is going to have something that starts, like, that just is from the beginning point to, like, the end point, right? So if you wait for it to reach equilibrium, you're not going to be able to get, like, the initial concentration, you're not going to get the initial velocity, right?
Okay.
Like if you allow it to reach equilibrium, it's going to already, it's not going to like you let it reach its end point, so it's not going to have something that changes.
Okay. That makes more sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is another thing like situation I got wrong. I'm trying to remember like non-productive reaction when lysine is a substrate.
Okay, so let's see. Oh, the non decomposes non. Okay, so all right, we can do this one and then we can wrap up. So they're saying that there's two steps, right? So NADPH reacts with FAD. So NADPH plus FAD produces NADP plus and FADH minus. And then they say FADH quickly reacts with O2, so FADH minus reacts with O2, oh, and H plus to form FADHOOH. Following with me?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, that's that part. And then it says it either hydroxylates or decomposes non-productively. So that's what they're asking about. So FADHOOH turns into H2O2 and FAD again, right? Mm-hmm. And now I'm just gonna cancel stuff out, right? So FAD cancels. Do you see how they cancel? Because they're on opposite sides.
Yep.
FADH minus cancels. FADHOOH cancels. So we're only left with this, that, these guys, and that guy. So that's NADPH plus O2 plus H plus yields NADP plus and H2O2. I think that I got everything. Yep.
Well, I mean, I knew it wasn't C because it made the H2O2. Did you have to set it up like that? Because I guess why I was confused.
Yeah, because you're asking for the balanced like overall reaction, and whenever you have like this compound, like things with like step one or like step two and step three, you write them out like this to get the net reaction.
Mm, okay. Well, like I noticed up here though, in the reaction, couldn't you use this though?
That's just what is that? So I mean that doesn't really tell us. I mean, okay, that'll help you like with knowing that and that.
Well, that gets you to A though. Just looking at that because none of the other ones had that in it. And this one, that one didn't. This one didn't have H2O2 for
Yeah,
C.
yeah, you could do that. I just wanted to write out like
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I'm struggling with this Kim section. This whole situation was far. If we have time this week for another, we can go through more of it. The biochem section was pretty easy. This section was rough math wise and just
Uh-huh. Yeah,
overall.
I could do like Thursday or Friday or something.
All right. Yeah, just keep me posted or whatever, and
Mm-hmm.
yeah, figure it out. Thursday I get off. We get home around 7, a little earlier. Friday I'm gonna be here all day, so
Okay.
I can like adjust my work. Just let me know or whatever, because I like to get through that biochem and chem section for the whole thing, just to like go through it and review it because it's helping. But all right.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna take my last FL4 like this weekend, and then I guess from there I'm just gonna review the mistakes I'm making, and I guess keep practicing some questions through next week. See what happens. But
Yeah. I guess I'll see if I could see you on Friday like earlier because I don't want you to be like tired and stuff.
yeah,
But
no,
yeah, try to like like take these tests and stuff like that and review them when you're not like working a billion hours. Cause I don't know, I don't know how you're doing it, man, but I commend you.
surviving. They're thriving right now. But it's all right. All right. Thanks, Shane.
All right, take care, man. All right.